horror, and I say to you, death is only the beginning. My name is Mike, I'm your host, and we have another jam-packed episode tonight, and I am fucking raring and ready to go, baby. So why don't we jump right the fuck in, and I'll tell you a little bit about where you can find us online. First place is our website, which is ahpod.com. That's AHHPOD.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. Just search for America's Hometown Horror, and you shall find us. You can also shoot us an email at hometownhorrorpodcast@gmail.com if you want to give us some feedback about the show, give us some ideas for future episodes, comment. Please be kind, I would say. Or don't be kind, and, we'll call you out in the show. You can also do that, too. And also, I would like to say hello to our two sponsors, first of which is Horror Facts Magazine, which you can find at horrorfacts.com, a great resource for any horror fan for news, reviews, editorials, and other horror podcasts, but not, and also including America's Hometown Horror. Last but certainly not least, Fangoria, the first name in fright since 1979. Head on over to shop.fangoria.com/hometownhorrorpod. Exclusive 20% discount on any Fangoria merchandise and first-time magazine subscription. And that magazine is an awesome subscription to get, as Matt and I can personally tell you, because we got our latest edition magazine in the mail this past week, and it looks like they have a lot of awesome stuff in it, so I can't wait to dig in. Haven't done it yet. Or you can just use that code HometownHorrorPod at checkout when you're at Fangoria's shop for that 20% discount off all merch and first-time magazine subscription. Last but certainly not least, I'm going to incorporate this in every episode moving forward. If you want to support our show, if you want to support the Inebriart Podcast Network, who we are a part of, head on over to inebriart.com, go to their events page, and buy some tickets for the Hometown Haunts and Hops Horror Convention. It will be taking place on October 28th, 2023 at Mayflower Brewing Company. You will see us there. You will see many other people there. Maybe some celebrities. There'll be some trivia. There'll be some live podcasts, some vendors, lots of beer, some movies that you should
maybe some doggos.
Maybe some doggos. Maybe some food. Babies. Maybe some food. And lots of other fun things for you to do to ring in the Halloween season. So again, that's the Hometown Haunts and Hops Horror Convention. You can find tickets to it at inebriart.com.
When is it again? I gotta put it on my calendar.
October 28th, 2023. The year of our Lord. Yeah. Okay, and now that that's all out of the way, I say hello and good evening to my co-host Andrew, Kat, Matt, lady, gentlemen. Hello and good evening to you all. How we doing?
We're doing.
What's going on?
Great. It's very obvious, Mike, that you have a Nox Sun and Moon in your select owner right now.
Maybe a Rick O'Connell in my pants, potentially. Yes, we have a...
Nothing wrong with that.
This is an episode that I've been waiting over 2 years to record that has not happened yet, and it's happening tonight.
Andrew, what is your hat? What's
the Trading Post Lounge.
TP. Oh.
It's also got a lot of bleach on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was TLP.
TLP, baby. Got Trading Post Lounge.
Tiny little penis.
Down at Cape Cod.
If Mike was wearing this hat, then yes, that would be correct.
Tiny little penis. Trading Post.
I
need
little baby
money.
boy with this tiny little penis.
Good one. Glad you got that burn in there, folks. Let's see. How we all been doing since we last did our last draft, which was Horror Movie Kills? Doing good?
We've been did good.
Yeah,
Done did.
everybody all around.
Doing good.
Matt, I know you're happy the Red Sox have had their opening day. Baseball's back.
Yeah, so my watch list is small.
Yeah, absolutely. That's okay. So why don't I lead off with this then? Guys, have we all seen Yellowjackets Season 2, Episode 2?
Yes.
Hello.
Excellent. Guys, this took a turn for some crazy shit. Huh?
About fucking time.
Tough to be spoiler-free.
Well,
right now.
I would say at this point, if you haven't seen Yellowjackets Episode 2, skip ahead a little while.
Pause.
Pause.
Skip.
Go back, watch it. But also, if you're not watching Yellowjackets live, what are you doing with your life? So go watch
Or
it.
if you haven't started it at all.
Yeah, what are you
Check it
doing
out.
with your life?
It's fucking nuts.
It's an awesome show.
And hey, it pays off. Where
Yeah.
we're at now, like, it's fucking
Well worth the
it's
wait.
hitting the fan.
It sure does. So, guys, I think we were all of the opinion last week that the first episode was kind of setting some things up for this season, and this episode kind of kicks things into high gear towards the end. So I feel like now we are racing towards some crazy, crazy shit.
Yeah.
And last spoiler warning, and by crazy, crazy shit, I mean full-on fucking cannibalism, because we are there.
Yeah. It was just a matter of time.
Guys, have you ever smelled the burning embers of one of your friends on a pyre out in the wilderness?
Pyre?
Woken up from your slumber in a cabin and said, "Ooh, what is that?" And then gone out and feasted on that person?
I mean, I like to think that if I did, I
Neither have
would, and I probably would.
I don't think the smell of a.
I bet
egg-
when
know
you
what
haven't
you-
eaten
know what it
anything
smells
when
like.
you've been in the
months.
so okay.
When
So
you've been hungry for so long?
So checking it, they did actually provide a timestamp in this episode as to where we are in the timeline. So they are 7 months in because
They're
they mentioned that Shauna is now 7 months pregnant after the whole freak out about.
I'm a little nervous about what's going to happen
Yeah.
with this baby, and so is Sarah. She's
I'm
like,
very-
I don't think
I
I'm
know.
making it through this.
Yeah.
Very
Also,
concerned.
where is the baby?
It's in her belly.
in her belly
Mm-hmm.
because she's 7 months
It's gonna be
pregnant.
in there.
So okay, so they have now been in the wilderness for 7 months, and I think we've seen about 5 of those months because between seasons 1 and 2 there was a 2-month jump.
Yeah, it got cold.
into the winter.
Yes.
So yeah, we're now seeing like
Well,
the
let's-
throes of hunger
so
and some crazy shit
Shauna
happening.
and Jeff's kid is, like, what, 17?
Yeah.
18?
So-
I was confused about this because this is what me and Sarah were talking
the
about. We're like,
timelines don't
how
match
old
up.
is this fucking
So
kid?
they eating
don't
that
match
baby?
up.
They eating
But she
that
was, like,
baby?
drinking out of a
That
bottle.
baby getting eaten? Is
Okay.
that what's going to happen?
Okay,
Because
so
if they do that...
we're going to a lot of different places right now. So I think so the official synopsis is supposed to be that this is so when you see Melanie Linsky and Juliette Lewis and Christina Ricci and the other actress, that's supposed to be 25 years after they got out.
20 years.
So that timeline does not match up
Does not match
with
up.
Shauna's current daughter.
Well,
So
she's at a bar, though.
So
that
where
baby-
be the baby? No. She was drinking at that bar underage.
Was she underage?
She was like
Yep,
17. She was there in
absolutely.
high school.
She's
in
in
high
high
school.
school.
Or-
and she's
or-
a
Dude she talks to is
or-
an undercover cop.
correct,
Yeah, so-
which is creepy in a way that is.
He's doing
whoa.
his due diligence.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, is he or is he being a
No, he's
fucking
doing his due
creep?
diligence for the case for Adam. That's why he's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, understandable.
Because they're trying to creep on Shauna.
he
because they
seemed
think
like
Shauna's
he
not
seemed like
involved.
he was having a little bit too much
No,
fun
he's
doing that.
playing the role.
Right.
Yeah, well,
He's not being a creep.
okay. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
All right, Karen, let's relax.
Fuck you, Steven. Okay, you want to call me a Karen? Steven, fuck you,
Steven with a PH.
Steven.
Steven.
So they eat the baby. That happens.
Yeah, so we don't know again. So
Let's presume.
you
yeah.
guys last week did not want to go over any of the theories that are out there about what happens throughout the show.
No, I don't
So
like
we'll
theories.
leave
I don't
those
No,
out.
want to
yeah,
do
I don't
theories.
Because there are
I
theories
have
out
my
there
own
about what
theories.
happens to Shauna's baby, and one of them is actually pretty relevant. And I've seen it a couple times, so I'm not going to comment.
I've seen one too, and I was upset because I was
Yeah,
like, fuck,
I
don't wanna-
think it's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I'm not going to
so-
say anything because
Anyway,
I was upset.
so I
reading
think
it,
the
so.
biggest
Good.
thing that happened here, you get a lot of, obviously, cannibalism at the end. You get some supernatural stuff. You get a lot of adult Lottie, adult Nat. You get a lot of basically the fact that it seems like Shauna and Jeff and Shauna's daughter, that whole Adam thing is going to come crashing down upon them at some point.
Yeah.
I
It
mean, the
certainly
cops are getting
seems like
involved.
it.
It's going to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just go round table. Andrew, I'll start with you if you want. Thoughts on episode 2 and thoughts so far through the season. Do you like it? Good with it? What do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fucking love it. Very good. It's, there's a lot of different avenues that it could take, and I hate that. It reminds me a lot, not True Detective, but similar to that. There's a lot of different ways that it's going to go, and I feel like any way that it goes is going to be...
Okay.
I don't feel like there's a bad avenue to take. I feel like they've opened it up to this point where the show is at a point where it's very interesting, it's very developed, much unique, but it's just it's hard to fuck it up at this point. Like
Yeah.
it's going to be really hard to fuck up the show. If they fuck the show up, then that was intentional.
It'll be very disappointing. Yeah.
Because it's
Okay.
You got the supernatural cannibalism. I don't.
Because I think
any way
when we talk about the supernatural, and I don't mean to go off on tangents here because I want to hear quick opinions, and then I have some questions I want to ask you, things that see what you guys think. Clearly, there was some sort of supernatural element that brushed all that snow on top of Jackie's funeral pyre to put that fire out so that she
Yeah.
was succulent for eating, I would say, correct? That was a very weird thing.
Something.
Yeah. So there's that. All right, Kat, what have you thought through the first 2 episodes? Fan? Not a fan? What are your thoughts?
I'm a fan. That could really have never seen.
Anything that stuck out to you as interesting that you want to comment on, other than the fact that it's good and creepy?
I want to know what's going on with like the witch doctor with Lottie.
I've
and
called
whatever,
the witch
and
doctor. They
I
told
kinda
me
wanna
what to
know
do.
what's
Bum, 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 bum.
going on with that? Because even like since the beginning, like, she wouldn't even with her.
I think she's.
So there was the seance in season 1 where Lottie kind of led the whole thing, right? She had, like Matt said, she had the thing where she didn't go in the
Right.
house at first, and now it certainly seems like... It's funny because, like, so there was a certain point in season 1 where, like, adult Nat, Juliette Lewis, said Travis didn't believe in all of that shit.
Right.
So I wonder if she is just having selective memory, or, you know, just choosing to remember that he did not. Or if he, like, you know, if he did, if she forgot about it, whatever, but...
Well, maybe he left Nat
Maybe-
to go to Lottie. And
Also,
he wants to
Nat's
talk to
no
Nat anymore,
fucking.
Well, according to
She's-
adult Lottie, that is what happened.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so
Also, Nat cut her
Yeah.
own leg to
kind of bury the hatchet.
Yeah.
and
that's-
make it seem like so. There's a lot of
That's
stuff
kind
up
of a
for
that's kind of an
interpretation.
unforgivable lie
Yeah,
from a
that's
character
kind of a
that
piece
you
of shit.
really, really like in the show, and I really, really like Nat as a character, and I feel like that is going to be like, okay, so I was going to get into this, but okay, I feel like 1,000% Javi is alive, correct?
I'm sure he's gonna.
There's no way
So
that
then
he's
who
dead.
was up there on the thing? A doppelganger?
No.
How is he not
You're talking
dead?
about Travis.
Travis. Sorry.
Travis
So
His
in
brother.
in,
Oh, his
in
brother. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
1996 or 98, whenever the year is,
He's
so
not
like
dead.
they're searching. Javi's absolutely got to be alive.
Yeah.
I think with every second of the show that I see, it's clear that he's alive.
Yeah.
Because now Nat's lying about finding parts of his clothing. Like, he has to be alive.
He's
has
got
to be alive.
His character has to be visible right now at some point in the show that we don't even know that it's. I feel like he's in the show. No. As like an older, like later on in the show, like with like as they've gone on further.
So,
like, he's
okay,
in the show
so-
somewhere.
I will say to you, counterpoint, you said last week that you had heard one theory about the show that
We're not
you
talking about
found out
theories.
was true,
not talking
and you
about
were
theories.
disappointed. Was it something related to do with Javi? The one that I'm talking about.
Okay, then we're not
Okay,
talking about theories.
then never mind. Because there are, if go on Reddit, listen to podcasts. There are plenty of fan theories out there about everything going on with the show, and there's a lot of stuff about Javi out there. Javi's alive. Javi's alive in '98, and I don't think Javi's alive in present day anymore, potentially. Anyway, so there's that. Matt, thoughts through 2 episodes on Yellowjackets?
I'm gonna go off like kind of what Andrew was saying. It's like I enjoy having this show to like look forward to watching, and like you were saying, like it's kind of like you get like so caught up in kind of the mystery of what's going on, and it really can't go in any sort of direction. So it's exciting to kind of each week discover the next little chapter of this story, because it
Yeah.
is fucking nuts. Like there's so much going on in both like timelines, so and it's a lot to keep up with, but at the same time it's also very easy to kind of
manageable.
understand. I think what's Taissa,
Taissa.
her
yeah.
adult life is going to be nuts.
Yeah.
After the end of this last episode, like when you realize that like she's been like literally hallucinating so much shit.
Yeah, there's something
Something's
weird
going on
with that.
there,
There's some
yeah.
weird fucking voodoo child.
Yeah.
Weird. Why is she like hooked up? Like, why is she all that?
No, she doesn't
Well,
even
that-
know. She's been sleepwalking and she has these weird visions or something's going on. There's some fucking wild shit
Yeah.
going on with And because her who's her wife?
Van. Oh no. Simone in present day, and she was with
And
Van.
she is
But Van
so
apparently
fully-
is coming soon.
She is.
But she is also so fully like put up, done with her shit, like aggressive, like don't ever talk to Mild again.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing at some point comes into play, and so that makes you wonder, like, because she's
Right.
but there's some definite weird element coming to play, like.
Well, they
She-
obviously
she's going
Like
through it.
monster is
Yeah.
speaking into her head. And
She-
she's just
she
like
found-
eating children.
she found the altar in the basement at the
Yeah.
end of season 1.
the dog.
And with the dog's head, and she's obviously seeing Taissa hallucinate into thinking that her child is there, and he's not there. So
Yeah.
obviously
Or the dog.
or the dog. Yeah. Worried about Steven, by the way. The dog. Worried. The dog's name is Steven, by
Steven
the
with
way.
a
I'm
PH.
worried about Steven,
Yeah,
based on
Steven's-
Biscuit from season 1. All kinds of worried about Steven.
Yeah.
Steven for sure
Steven
could be in
is,
a bad way. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, the actress that plays adult Taissa, her name is Tawny Cypress. I didn't forget that. But yeah, I just think this was a good episode. I feel like the first 2 episodes have been a little slower, but towards the end they've gotten pretty good.
Yeah, either way, there's so much going on already
some
anyway
table setting,
that it's kind of like it's a lot more endurable to kind of get through the slow stuff because it's important.
Yeah.
Like, no, you know what I mean? It's not like it's like random kind of stuff that has nothing to do with anything. It's all the fabric of the story. So,
what do you guys think about the back and forth and the potential, I feel like they're alluding to, relationship between Christina Ricci's character and Elijah Wood's character that they a couple different times now, especially more so in this.
well, she's a maniac.
Misty, and I think Walter is Elijah Wood's character.
Is this the guy that I
it's
didn't know
fitting
that
that
was
his name is
Elijah
I
Wood.
was
Oh, yeah.
just gonna say that, but I'm glad you did because they'd be like, "But Jesus,
So
you don't
when
like
Misty is at
I forgot
work,
he was like supposed to be in it.
yeah, Misty's at work and
shows
she
up.
sees a guy wheeling his mother around, asking all these
And
nerdy
it's intentional.
questions.
He's trying to get involved. He
He's
knows
staking her
something.
out
Yeah.
because he's clearly that guy from the Reddit detective board
Yeah.
that she's on, and they're going back and forth on theory. So he knows who she is, and he's scoping her out.
I didn't remember.
And in the
that.
preview for next week, you see that she confronts him. So like it's coming, and I feel
we
like the
also-
two of them are so like it seems like the characters are very similar. So there might be a budding relationship here between these two
she's a fucking
characters.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
Andrew,
she's
you
on
love
for it.
Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
Comment.
I was
on
gonna
that.
say, can we give some flowers to Christina Ricci? Like,
Is that the word? Is that what you want to give her? Flowers?
Flowers. Wow.
I think that's the
Flowers?
politically correct term. I could say semen. No, I'm just saying. Can we hear some
Sure, she would
flowers?
appreciate it.
Like,
You want to make some
A
flowers?
kiss, a smooch,
Christina
maybe.
Ricci
You didn't have to go that hard.
is such an underrated actress.
Yeah.
She's been killing it this year. Actually, she's actually setting a record.
Literally.
With Wednesday and this, that's a record that she's going to be nominated for 2. I don't know what they're called, Oscars or Grammys or whatever the fucking
Emmys.
Emmys. Yeah.
That's a record. Never happened before.
I think Emmys, and
Being
I
nominated for
think
two-
the Golden Globes is the one that does movies and TV.
so. She's being nominated for 2 shows,
No, maybe
and
not. I
that's
don't know.
never happened before in the same.
So
Also, she still is a fucking.
she
I
looks good.
love
She
her.
looks good for her age. Yeah.
She does look great.
Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, she looks great in that.
I thought
fantastic
that
in that.
Elijah looked like Ben.
No, he looks like
like-
Elijah Wood.
He's like a fucking little dork.
Yeah.
I know,
He's
but
always-
yeah, but I feel like as he's getting older, he's getting those like features
He's fucking Frodo Baggins.
from Lost.
Come on.
I was gonna say
I know,
something.
but I know he is. But in the same sense, he
can't
looks
say
like.
that. I was gonna say something, but I realized it
Let's
was
see what
inappropriate.
else happened in Yellowjackets so we can talk about it. Anything else, or do we want to move on and
I
wait
think
until
we can
next
move
week?
on now.
Yeah.
That's fine. We
Look,
talked about it for a long
This
time.
is Elijah Wood when he gets.
I mean, I can kind of see it. I can
a
kind of
little
see it.
bit.
Okay.
That looks like Eli Stick.
That guy was a piece of shit and saw.
Ben Linus.
All right.
No
Yes.
good. No good.
Yes,
No
he
good.
is.
No one likes that show.
I don't know.
You didn't
I don't know
play
who that is.
the
I don't know who that is.
Like,
Eli Stick.
no, you have
Eli
to die.
Stick?
Elijah Wood. Eli Stick.
Oh,
It's the
oh,
younger
I
Eli
see.
Wood. He's Eli Stick.
gotcha.
Stick.
I
thought
see
that
what
was-
you did there
I
now.
thought that was
I
funny.
see what you did there
I guess
now.
not.
Yes. I didn't understand.
Fail.
I apologize. I
it's
did
fine.
not comprehend.
Hey,
the
if you didn't think it was
Cut
funny,
that.
then it's not. It's not good.
Bad.
It's
We're
a
gonna
bad
hold cut
joke.
that.
Really bad.
No, we're not cutting that out. That's a great joke.
No,
I think
we're actually
smart
gonna leave
people
it
will
in.
Appreciate that.
Matt and I wouldn't be joking that way. It's-
Yeah.
So the Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast. That's a running joke on the show. It's like everything they say. Like,
Oh, I don't know. I don't.
no, I know it's funny. You should listen to it though.
It is a good.
Always
show.
Sunny. Great show. All right. So that's Yellowjackets. There's 2 episodes out. If you have Showtime, go watch it. That's all I'll say about it. Guys, anyone have anything watch list related they want to lead off with? I have one thing, so I'll go last. Kat? Okay. Andrew, Matt, go.
Watch some.
I watched the Blood on Satan's Claw.
Or
It
the
was like
Red Sox.
Yeah, it was a 70s.
That's a horror movie, too.
70s British, actually a pretty classical British horror movie, satanic movie. It was fun.
Yeah.
In the realm of like Witchfinder General and that so those 2 and The Wicker Man are all on Shudder right now. The original Wicker Man. So there's this nice little like renaissance of like 70s, which is super enjoyable. It's very very well done. It's not like Hammer. It's just fun.
Sounds
Atmospheric.
right up the Matt alley. Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Okay.
Fine. I've
Andrew?
only got one, too.
ahead.
I watched Nope for the 4th time.
Nice.
4th time. I would have thought it would have been more than that. It was what?
So that's a long movie.
Twice in theaters, right?
Twice in theaters, 2 since.
Yeah.
a
Thoughts
long
on the
movie.
4th viewing?
Still fucking amazing. Jordan Peele's still my number of the new. Take him the fuck else.
Clearly.
Peele's fucking.
Ari Aster. I mean,
Robert Edge.
yeah.
Edgar's is good, but it's fucking weird, and it's like masturbation.
You love The Lighthouse. though.
I do love that weird
That's the only movie
masturbation
that
type of
happened.
movie. But it might. No,
mean-
wait, what was the other one?
The
Hereditary?
Witch. The Witch?
The
No,
Witch.
Ari Aster's The Witch.
Oh, Ari Aster's The Witch. And we were talking about Robert Eggers.
Ari Aster did Ari Aster did Hereditary and Midsommar, and Robert Eggers did
That's
The Witch.
right. I read
The
an
Lighthouse.
interesting article about Ari Aster's opinion of them. Made them as like comedy.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched any of his
I was
short?
like, those are comedies?
Have you ever watched any
But
of
if
his
you
short
watch them
movies?
as comedies, no, I haven't. But I would kind of want to watch these movies now with the mindset that this is a comedy.
If you watch his short movies that he made, they're all on YouTube. Yeah, like he's
fucked.
He's out there,
He has a
dude.
warped sense of humor.
And we have
he very
Bo's Not
much
Afraid
does.
coming out very soon.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in watching that.
yeah. We got a lot of stuff coming out. We got Renfield,
Evil Dead Rise.
Evil Dead Rise,
The
Salem's
trailer I
Lot
saw for
apparently
that
is coming out on the 21st.
What?
Yeah.
Is that new?
I
didn't.
I don't know. The last few weeks, that's all I've been seeing.
Dude,
so.
I really want to see Renfield. I can't fucking wait
Dude,
to see that.
Did you look at that Fangoria issue? Because there's a bunch of
I haven't
sick
opened it yet.
pictures
I got it.
of Renfield and like art, like whole things about it, dude. That looks fucking.
I feel like this
crazy.
is the role
That movie
Nicolas
looks
Cage was
insane.
meant to play.
But did either of
He
you guys
is.
see, like in like
Dracula.
one of the commercial trailers, they like cut Nicolas Cage in as like various Draculas in black and white,
I didn't see that.
like him as Bela Lugosi Dracula, like him as Christopher Lee Dracula. It's actually pretty cool to see. So that they're clearly taking this with like some seriousness. Like it's gonna like pay a lot of. It almost like I
It's
feel
an
like.
homage. I feel like it's
Here's
an
the
homage.
here's my only reservation is I feel like What We Do in the Shadows has kind of done this already, but it's also Nicolas Cage. So I'm like I'm gonna
You
this
know what
could-
also I'm
yeah.
more interested in is that I feel like it's Nicholas Holt, right? Who's playing
Nicholas
Renfield.
Holt and Nicolas
I'm more
Cage.
interested in him as Renfield. I feel like he's the
But
star.
he's
of
going to be
show.
the main character.
This
I feel
movie
like
is-
Cage's going to be in it for a little
Cage's
bit.
just going to be a lunatic in the background,
Yeah.
doing wild
This
shit.
movie's gonna be a bloodbath too.
Oh,
it's
that-
like
I'm sure
supposed to be
it's
extremely over the top, and so is Evil Dead. So we're getting two like turbo gore movies.
I feel like we need to
2 weeks in a
cover
row.
both of those.
Yeah, dude, we got plenty of fucking movies
Yeah,
to watch.
we
this
just need to
month.
get babysit. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry, Andrew. What movie were we talking about when you actually?
Oh no, but that doesn't matter.
Doesn't
We've
matter.
talked about that
You're all
a
set.
billion
Done.
times. Yeah,
Okay.
good.
All right. I'll go last. So I watched, in the spirit of my boy Brendan Fraser, who we're about to talk about in just a short moment here. I did have the opportunity to check out The Whale.
Ooh, did you cry?
I was very, very close, and I did weep at a moment.
Did you blubber?
Dude, I gotta tell you,
Like
I
a
gotta
whale.
tell you,
Blah, blah.
this is a Darren Aronofsky movie through and through.
Oh, yeah.
It's so depressing. If you want to watch just 2 hours of life just absolutely beating the shit out of one person in like a pathetic, sad, like not even a noble, like there's a hero comeback, maybe to a certain extent.
Don't spoil
but anyway,
it. Yeah, I haven't
yeah.
seen it yet. So.
Like it's just it's a bleak fucking movie.
I mean, has he ever made a movie that you've watched and all that?
not really. No.
I mean, they're good, but it's
That's
like
why I said it's
like,
it's an. I mean,
his
it's
movies
like
make you
it's
feel
like
fucking dog shit.
it's like Requiem for a Dream, or it's like
I
but
love
the
those
this
movies.
movie is impossible to love. I did not love this movie.
Would you watch it again?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
His performance in it was fantastic. I do not want to understate that. He was great in it. The movie was ultimately too sad and depressing for me to be able to like call it a great movie. I don't think I could watch it a second time and like enjoy myself. It like literally this isn't a spoiler. It's in the first 30 seconds of the movie. It just shows like I guess my point is I won't go in. You see Brendan Fraser's face makeup. I feel like that's the only promotional photo for the movie that you see. Like it's just
How's that redhead chick from fucking Stranger
she's
Things?
great.
Yeah.
Sadie
I've heard
Sink.
everybody good in
She's
it.
awesome.
But everyone's also at the same time very like frustrating.
She's great in it, but she's such an asshole to him. Like, and you understand why, but he's just like such a nice guy, and like Brendan Fraser is just like he's just a
Whale.
a whale. Yes.
A whale? It's called the
It's
Whale.
insane. So I mean,
Like, they
you
know
definitely
that for a
gotta
reason.
you gotta make sure that you're in the mood to watch a sad movie when you watch it because it is very sad.
See,
Sounds
The
like
thing-
a fucking top-notch movie for me. I'll watch that movie 8 times.
But
this
he-
movie makes me so upset.
I'm sorry, I still haven't seen the Banshees of Inisherin, so I can't comment on Colin Farrell. But I love
Wonderworld.
Brendan Fraser, and I can't envision a scenario where anybody acted better than he did.
the thing about like I only ask that because like I can watch Requiem for a Dream and like I'm not gonna watch it again the next day, but like there's times that I'm like, oh, I could.
Yeah, you need to fix.
Yeah,
it.
they're
Or like Black Swan or Mother.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Mother was the first time I really got through that. I was like, my heart was like pounding in my fucking chest.
Dude, I love
This movie isn't
Mother's
as...
one of my favorite movies ever.
We could do it for Mother's
And
Day.
it's so bad. It's so brutal. It's so good.
Whale isn't as, like, visually jarring.
No, this seems like more like a
As
drama.
Mother
This
is.
is a drama.
But
Straight
I would
drama.
say the content in it is like equally as disturbing because it's just a portrait of somebody that is
Self-destruction.
hell-bent on destroying themselves in the most disgusting way
So it's like watching
possible.
My 600-Pound Life show.
Well, I remember.
Yeah, and it's
sad.
it's profoundly sad because
as it should be.
there's an incident in his life that sparks him going into this downward spiral. And he just could not get himself out of it. And Brendan Fraser is so likable and so relatable. I feel like just like in his eyes when you watch it, he has like kind eyes and he's a kind character. And everybody is just shitting on him for 2 hours. And this guy is still like the most positive guy in the world. Like that's the only uplifting message I could give you out of this because it's just not uplifting at all.
It's
and
also
Sadie
a
Sink, I think
fucked up name for a movie.
I meant, yeah.
It's based on a play.
Well, and there's a lot
And
of
they're calling it The Whale. Like,
there's a lot of the whole plot of the movie revolves around certain aspects of Moby Dick. So that's another allegory there.
Interesting.
Yes, because he's an English teacher in college. So and his favorite essay that
This
was ever
movie
written
sounds
for him
fucking awesome.
was written by his daughter about Moby Dick when she was 8 years old, which is when he left to go be with a male lover and left
whale.
his wife and 8-year-old daughter.
So is the male lover the
Which
whale, or is he
that
the
part is
whale?
out there. It's not a spoiler, and
That's his white
things
whale.
happen and he becomes who he is. But it's very it's just
That's his Moby Dick.
I remember when this movie got announced, and the plot was a man tries to rekindle his relationship with his estranged daughter while slowly eating himself to death. Right below that, director Darren Aronofsky.
nope.
And I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" And I remember like literally like letting out like an audible groan. I was like, "Oh, like that is going to be fucking brutal, dude."
Yeah. And Max from Stranger Things, Sadie Sink, she's very good in it, very different type of character, and she's just such an asshole to him the entire time, but it's a very good performance. And there's like, honestly, there's like 5 actors.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
It's very small.
Yeah.
It's very small. So yeah, again, that's The Whale. If you've heard of this movie that we're about to talk about, you've heard of Brendan Fraser, and this is his career renaissance. And I'm genuinely happy for him that this is the role that kind of got him back into Hollywood after what seems like a long struggle with a bunch of different bullshit in his life. So anyway,
I mean, his best role's obviously in Cena, but that's okay.
School Ties potentially.
Monkey Bone, dude.
George of the Jungle.
I was gonna say he was great. in
It's
Blade.
Cena
Blast
Man's
from the
awesome.
Past.
Yeah.
Hello.
Airheads.
Airheads. I forgot
Airheads
about
is awesome with Buscemi and who's the
Sandler?
other?
The Mummy, The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. But I get ahead of myself. Anyway, guys, anything else before we jump into tonight's excellent Academy Award-winning Best Picture film?
Let's wrap that one up.
Okay.
Our esophagus.
That's pretty good.
Well, on that note, on that
Yeah,
excellent
let's,
note,
let's
dude.
do
On
it,
that-
man.
I'm not even busting your balls. On that excellent
Do
note,
it, dude.
why don't we take a quick 90-second break for a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
It's official. The critics' decision is in.
Spooky World is spooktacular.
Enter the new Black Hole.
If you dare.
Or the new horror House of Wax. This year, don't miss the real Jason, Bobby Pickett, or Alice Cooper. Phone the 24-hour Spooky World hotline. 508-838-0200. That's 508-838-0200. Spooky World is just west of Boston and haunts every night from October 1st till November 1st. If you had the nerve, you'd phone 508-838-0200.
It's American Horror Theme Park. Spooky World.
Don't be scared. I'm the super sweet monster with the super sweet new cereal, Count Chocula.
Biffle, here's the super sweet new cereal, Frankenberry.
But I've got chocolate sweeties for monstrous chocolate flavor.
Well, I got berry-flavored sweeties for monster strawberry flavor.
Count Chocula.
Frankenberry.
Hi.
Frankenberry.
Count Chocula.
Sleepy Clovers.
The new face of evil is going to scare you to death. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. It's killer this year. Then be next door to the Abington Ale House. Eat, drink, and be scary. Go to bhmansion.com.
Ricola. No one knows what that is.
I do.
I bet
The
you there are
cough
a few
syrup?
people listening
Or
to
the
this
cough
episode
Cough drops, yeah. With
that might.
Ricola.
Let me. I'll put it this way: if you were around in 1999 watching The Mummy, you definitely know what Ricola
Can they bring
are,
like
for
Banaka
sure.
back?
Banaka
I
spray.
miss like mouth spray.
You can
yeah.
buy like Listerine Banaka now.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've done
Oh
it
no,
before.
that's not the same. It isn't. This Banaka was like sweet.
Yeah,
It didn't taste
it
like.
was essentially all sugar and
Listerine,
like
you
no
take
mint.
the thing and you're like,
Cherry
"Ugh."
Juice.
Banaka.
Yeah.
Why bring the
Apple
cherry
juice.
after the original? Like, we all know everyone. Joe DeVola getting sprayed in the face with
Crazy
cherry
Joe
Banaka.
Travolta. So guys, in the year 1999, I was 13 years old, and I think let's see, me and Andrew were
I
the
was
same
probably
age.
12 years old.
Kat was younger, and Matt was way younger at that point.
I was watching Britney Spears videos on TLC and masturbating to them.
Jesus.
I mean, that's not a non-fact. Just
Britney,
saying.
bitch.
Britney.
Anyway, also in 1999, a 13-year-old Mike Walsh went to go see a movie called The Mummy in theaters on opening night, a Friday. I was in middle school. I'll never forget it as long as I live. We spent our day
Speaking of masturbating,
trying to find someone to drive like 5 of us in their minivan to go see The Mummy at Showcase Cinemas in Randolph. And guess what? It happened.
It
And
was redone by then, right?
Fucking awesome. Oh, yeah. Well, there was no Randolph movie
Oh, it was-
theater before
oh, I
that.
thought
Yeah, that
that
was the
was
first
something.
one there. So,
I was thinking of Dedham.
no.
Dedham got knocked
That's
out.
okay. That's okay.
Never mind. Sorry.
So I remember going, and
Deluxe?
I was like right on the cusp of the 13 age of the PG-13 rating, and there were some things in there I was like, whoa, this is some crazy shit. Like these people are getting their organs ripped out, you know, with
Yeah, but you know
hooks
what movie
while
you
they're
know?
alive.
You also know what,
mummified
you
alive.
know what movie you saw
Bugs.
just before
Getting
this
eaten by bugs.
was Austin Powers.
Yes, also,
It's
yeah, that's
a
true.
Phenomenal movie. Like that
great
was
movie.
like the golden age of movies
Yeah.
since like 1999.
Yeah, 99 was a great year for movies. I mean, we're going to talk about that. There are actually some great horror movies that came out in
And there's
99.
also
I
just
think some of the
great
best
regular
horror
movies.
movies of the 90s came out in 99. Yep. But anyway, so I'll just never forget this movie-going experience as long as I live. It was, honestly, I think one of the first movies... Because, I mean, 13 is still a younger age. I was... Like, this movie kind of influenced me to be a little bit more adventurous when it comes to horror. So this is one of my biggest, if not my biggest, gateway horror movie.
Phenomenal.
Because I would also, like, put, for me, like Jaws, Alien, Halloween on that level. But those are straight horror movies. They're not, like, gateway horror movies. I feel like The Mummy is not really a horror movie, but it's horror enough
It's horror adjacent.
that we can talk about it on this show.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of horror shit that happens in it. So I feel like for me, this was just such a huge movie in my life growing up. I really can't overstate the impact it had on me. Like one of the reasons I love movies is because of The Mummy. And it sounds like so dramatic and stupid to say. But hey, when you're a kid, you watch certain things and they have a huge effect on you. And this movie is one of those things for me. Like The Mummy, Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters. Like movies like that just had a huge impact on my life and the types of movies that I like now. So it's just an important movie to me. But anyway, it also just fucking rules. It just fucking rules so hard. Have you ever seen the fucking movie? Everybody in it's fucking great.
Oscar nominated.
Oscar nominated and Oscar winning Academy Award winner for Best Picture in the year of our Lord 1999, Stephen Sommers, The Mummy.
Was it nominated for any Oscar?
Can I give you
Maybe special effects.
Can I put this into
Sorry,
effect?
go ahead.
for you,
I
Mike?
went for a while. Yeah, go ahead.
The Mummy to me is like what you just said. So outside of Jaws, I had never seen Halloween or Alien before seeing them. Mid to a lot of catch up, but that's why The Mummy holds such a near and dear place because it's such a good movie. And it's Deep Rising. No, that is
That's also directed by Stephen Sommers.
Stephen Sommers, like
who directed this movie.
he kinda-
And
that
we
movie's
did it, the
underrated.
three of us
That
did an
movie's
episode on
underrated.
Deep Rising.
Underrated movie. Very good movie. It's just such a fun movie. And also you get Rachel Weisz, who is so fucking... And then you get EEMHOTEP. Whoever plays EEMHOTEP, what's his name?
Rachel Weisz was an important part of my 13-year-old movie-going experience for this movie as well. I will say in full confidence right
I don't
now.
know where she's hotter, that or Constantine. Both very attractive.
She's hotter in this. The answer is she's hotter in this every time.
she's... Brendan Fraser's...
Brendan Fraser is hotter than anybody else in this entire movie in this. There's also that.
Well, that's
My
the thing.
lifelong goal for hair has been Brendan Fraser as Rick O'Connell. That hair,
Really?
my God, the best head of hair in any movie ever.
Well, if your forehead didn't go so far back, you'd be good.
Yeah,
But-
I know. I have a big.
You're
I have
like dishing it
hey,
out on Mike
it's okay.
today.
I have a 5 head. I understand. Like, it
Got a
happens.
nice head, though.
I didn't always have a 5 head.
I know.
I'm 36, so it's okay. But dude, when the hair falls in his face and he's like pointing guns and like going around like temple walls and shooting scarabs and mummies.
When he's locked in the prison and he
That's a handsome guy right there.
kisses Rachel Weisz, and then that guy goes,
When his hair is looking on. Yeah.
Do you also know how gigantic Brendan Fraser is? He's like 6'5".
yeah, he looks like a big
I did
dude.
not know that.
Oh
He
yeah.
looks big.
I liked him in Bedazzled.
That's a good movie
was
too.
Elizabeth
Bedazzled's a
Hurley.
good
Yeah.
movie.
Dude, Elizabeth
looking at
Hurley.
all the other
Very
movies.
good. in that
Yeah,
movie.
Elizabeth Hurley is
He was
also
in Crash.
Sexy.
fantastic.
Speaking of sad movies, he was in Crash.
He was also in
I
Monkey
fucking hated
Bone.
that movie.
Yeah.
That movie made me hate
You know, a movie
Sandra
I like
Bullock
with
forever.
Albert Brooks and Brendan Fraser, The Scout. A good
Okay.
baseball movie.
Crash won Best Picture.
That's
He
wild.
did, I know.
Beat
yeah.
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, that was
a bunch of other awesome movies that year.
was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie made me hate Sandra Bullock in every role. She's so horrifically in that movie.
Yeah.
And it was just so bull.
Dude,
Like,
such a Karen, dude. That like I feel like the invention of Karen.
It's
was
like
in
who's
that.
that? Who's the actress
Oh,
in
you
The
know what?
Mist? The religious.
what's her
Marsha
name?
Gay Harden.
Yeah, I can't do.
She's
anything
also
with
in
her.
Mystic River,
Mystic
right?
River.
She's
and
in Mystic
yeah,
River.
oh my God,
So
She's
and
Tim
she
Robbins'
does-
wife in Mystic
worst
River.
Boston accent
Yeah.
I've ever fucking heard in a movie.
nothing. There was nothing. There
Yeah.
was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Fuck. Fuck.
I do
Mystic
remember
River is
that.
a
Now that you
fucking
bring this up.
fantastic.
I
watched.
love
That's
Mystic
another
River.
movie I watch once a year.
Mystic
There's
River
always
might
those
be
movies.
the actual like best Boston movie. I think.
Young
That might
Emmy
be-
Rossum before she did Shameless.
Yeah, dude. She was really young in that.
Yeah.
Sad as hell too. Like that movie.
Dude.
That's a tearjerker.
Sean
for
Penn
sure.
makes me weep, and he's so sad.
It's so
That
so
might be-
far over the top
that-
acting, but
no,
it's like you
but
can understand like
he's-
how somebody might react in that.
That's one of the
situation.
most underrated
Especially
movies.
somebody from
Dude,
Southie.
Dennis
Yeah, right.
Lenihan, another fucking phenomenal is Shutter Island. Like,
So every Dennis Lehane book, and again, book nerd, hashtag book nerd.
Lenihan,
Sorry,
Lenihan,
I've read
Lenihan.
pretty much almost
Yeah,
every Dennis
Gone Baby
Lehane
Gone.
book. Dennis Lehane's an awesome author, awesome author. I've read Shutter Island. I've read.
I've
all...
also been voting for Shutter Island to be available for a horror movie, but
We need to do it. Yeah,
I
we
feel
should.
like it should be.
I also read so
What are your
basically.
thoughts on that?
I think it would be good to do another like horror and kind of genre. Right?
Because it's not a technically
Yeah,
horror movie.
That's fine.
Shutter Island is horror, though.
You can certainly make that argument.
Yeah,
I would say that Shutter Island is as much of a horror movie as The Mummy
Or
might
The
be.
Shining.
Shining's more of a horror movie than both those. Yes.
You can hear a pin drop.
And
in this
twice
room
on
right
Sundays.
now.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
You were talking-
We were
the
talking
books
about
that
our
you
experience with The Mummy. Did you have anything further you wanted to say about that? Aside from insulting me, or do you want me to pass it over?
I
to
think it has.
Matthew?
I think it has. Though people talk shit about it, I think the CGI in this movie is just as good as like Jurassic Park.
Well-
this is up there with Jurassic Park. No, I feel like the CGI is not terrible.
Jurassic Park has
Park
some of the
didn't
best
really
special
have
effects
CGI.
ever made.
a lot of practical.
No,
Yeah,
but
practical.
they had. But even the CGI, they did have like the fucking swords.
Brontosaurus. Yeah,
hanging out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all CGI.
I don't feel like the
They also
CGI in this
used-
movie is that bad.
No.
I think
that's
it's
what I
actually.
said.
That's what I was saying. I think it's very good.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, it compares to the CGI in Jurassic
No,
Park.
no, I'm
the
agreeing
very
with you. I'm
limited
agreeing with
CGI in Jurassic Park. I know most of it was robots and they built all the fucking things. I'm not a fucking idiot, but also,
Like what? You thought they were real dinosaurs?
no, I didn't think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Dinosaurs
is that
do
the other
exist.
option? Like,
Dinosaurs exist.
the way you defended that, like you knew that they were
Extras.
robots.
yeah, because they Jurassic
they're
Park
robots.
did things with dinosaurs that doesn't happen.
They had dino DNA.
They
Dino.
dino DNA.
That was actually a
Oh,
great
wow.
call.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
I
Yeah.
was like, you're gonna take that.
Yeah, no, the CGI I thought in this movie was actually very good. Like EEEMHOTEP with his face in the sand is it's fucking phenomenal. Dude, I fucking love that scene. That's one of the best scenes in that movie.
We're gonna get to
EEEMHOTEP
best
in the
scenes.
sand of the
I
scenes.
decided, guys,
Scenes of
off
the
the
sand?
cuff,
I don't
and
fucking
without letting you guys know, we're gonna bring back some categories tonight, and we're gonna go around the horn here and talk about some of the things.
Dude, that guy's the
Boy,
best. I
I'm
love
not
that guy.
prepared. I didn't write
That's
anything
okay.
down.
Listen, this is
Look
a
at that
movie
guy.
that you've seen 1,000
Fucking
times.
does that.
I love, dude. One of the best parts of
That's
the
my
movie.
favorite
He's
scene
just,
ever.
One more. Yep, and he's
Yeah.
just like ripping it and it gets eaten by the scarabs.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
so good.
Unbelievable. Matt, your thoughts on The Mummer, my friend?
The Mummer. So, I first saw this when I was really young. I was probably like 5 or 6. Back when I was
Unbelievable.
maybe
Five
not 5
or
or 6.
six?
Unbelievable.
Maybe like 6 or 7. But like when I was like a little kid,
I was
like PG-13 was fine. I was allowed to do that until once I got to like 10, 11, 12, that's when I got into like the Halloweens and the Friday the so I watched this and I remember as a little kid like I watched it because I knew that there was like some scary parts. I as a kid did not give a fuck about this. Because it was long. I didn't understand any of that stuff. Like I didn't know what
You're a
architect,
child.
like you know, or not what archaeologists were. I didn't get the timeline.
You didn't care about
Six, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I mean,
So-
You didn't care about the Bembridge
you're watching
scholars
it.
and the
Yeah,
bomb and
exactly.
Rod,
I didn't realize
That
that
guy's
it
the
took
librarian's
place
one
in
of the best characters ever.
1926, and that the guns that they
remember-
had were not didn't exist
Oh.
yet. But
He was
I
in
don't remember
Seinfeld.
what I did when
He
I
was
was
definitely a
6.
Seinfeld
Like,
guy.
that's
What was
wild.
it?
but
Was
I know,
he
but
in
I know, like
Seinfeld?
watching it.
Oh.
So when I hadn't watched it easily in 20 years until yesterday.
Wow.
Is that right? Holy
Yeah, that's
fuck.
wild to me.
20 years?
Yeah.
That's
I-
another once a year watch for me. It's up there. I watched that.
Yeah,
when it was
So you were
on.
merely
'Cause I just put
placating
stuff on.
my affinity for this movie when I kept calling it the Academy Award-winning, Oscar-winning
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just being a douche.
Oh my
being a
god!
douche.
I'm so disappointed.
So I watched
You
it.
really don't like this movie?
I honestly no, I really don't like this movie. I watched it.
Oh, fuck. Mike's gonna go cry in the
I told him
closet.
at Hillary the other day. I was like, I don't like this movie. Like, but I watched it yesterday, right when I got home from work, and like, it's definitely not a bad movie. It's
Mike's
just
life
not
is ruined.
It's not my
I'm
cup
saving
of
the
tea.
reaction for this podcast. I had the same
It's-
reaction.
I love this.
At the
I
new
love
pillory,
seeing Mike's heart.
which I hesitate to call the pillory, by the way, but that's okay.
It was.
I was ruined.
It's not my cup of tea. It's much more of an action movie. But I will say there's something to appreciate because this was definitely the first movie I ever. I'm gonna put a pin in that. So when I was watching it yesterday, I was like, "This is just Army of Darkness PG-13." Because the way it's
not
like
a bad
set
comparison.
up is like. There's that narration at the beginning, and everything's all like.
So
I was like, dude, this is like Army of Darkness, like, and so I was kind of cracking up about that. So I won't say like it stole it, but I can definitely say it took inspiration. That a little inspiration from Alien with
Maybe
those
some
little
Stargate?
fucking beetle things. Stargate, like
I love that
Stargate SG-1. I never watched that,
Like
but
the actual. You should check. If you like science fiction.
Stargate SG-1 like that show's on.
No, like the
Sci-Fi.
movie
Stargate.
with Kurt Russell.
No. I've
Oh
never seen
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Never
yeah.
seen
I know
Stargate. Come on.
Sorry.
What are you talking about? what are we even talking about?
So when I
seen
was
Stargate
watching
with
it
Kurt Russell.
yesterday, that definitely as a kid was like my first introduction to like body horror because those little fucking bugs.
Scarabs, yeah.
Yeah, like that was. I remember being little and being like, "Ooh, like that is
Creepy
fucking
crawlies,
gross." Like
Dude,
they're under
those
his
things are
skin.
fucking
And I remember it was that and the movie Evolution with like David Duchovny
Duchovny, yeah,
and like
I know that
Orlando
movie.
Jones
Yeah.
when he gets the little bug in his leg and stuff.
Or The Matrix.
I guess the Matrix. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will agree with you. This movie's not hard.
No, it was more of an well.
That one
I
scene-
will agree
no,
with you.
Yeah.
No,
I
but
will agree
when
with
the
you.
guy's on the couch and he's like got like the blindfold and he can't see, he's like blind, and then the fucking
Yeah,
mummy
no,
comes
he's
right
he's
from behind him.
that's
Great
when he's
scene.
they're in
Great.
Hymenoptera
That's
and
a very
he's in
scary scene.
he's in the hall and he turns around. Who's there? Who's there?
No, when he's on the couch, like
Yeah,
back
and
at the
it's-
hotel.
it-
At the hotel.
Yes, and Imhotep sucks like the life
Yeah,
force out of
that's
him.
a little
Yeah, yeah.
horror, but
Yeah.
it's very limited.
Very clearly a fake corpse, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Limited horror.
and that part, at least, they spent all their special effects budget on like the practical like, mummy. It's okay.
The well, that
Go
was
ahead.
I was gonna say like some of the scenes where he has like the mummy, he pulls it out of the thing to scare Rachel Weisz, and it's like, oh, like that's a creepy looking corpse. That's legit. But then like when it gets into the CGI stuff, I have a hard time doing. It's just like I get lost, and I get it's a product
Okay.
of its like environment because that was what was available, and at that point, that's a Universal movie. That was probably like cutting edge. Like that was probably fucking
Yeah.
sick.
Oh, back
And
then,
so
yeah.
but that's what I'm saying is like, but I was only like when I saw it, so it was just like.
That's the wildest part about this movie to me is that so they gave Stephen Sommers hundreds of millions of dollars to make after he just made Deep Rising.
Maybe they liked it. I thought Deep Rising's not bad.
I love Deep Rising. Obviously, it's a war movie, one of my favorites. And I don't mean to go off on a tangent here, but at one point, do you know that Wes Craven, George Romero, Clive Barker, Joe Dante were all attached to this Mummy reboot project that started out in the late 80s and made it all the way to 1999 before it settled on Stephen Sommers, of all people. All of those people were attached to it. Look it up. It happened.
That says something about what
Clive Barker wrote a pitch for The Mummy to Universal Studios.
That says a lot about this movie, though. Like, they didn't want to be attached to it because maybe they didn't think it was very good.
Maybe they didn't.
I think it's
I know
very
a lot of
good.
people had different ideas about, what this movie was going to be. I know Joe Dante wanted to make it a period piece, which is ultimately what this ended up being, but I think George Romero wanted it to take place in present day and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. But Stephen Sommers, fresh off of the Jungle Book live action movie. Did you ever see that, Kat?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, like
the
1994 Jungle Book movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Mowgli as like a real
that has
boy,
the guy that
the real
drowns
guy.
in quicksand. Remember that? Remember that
what's
scene?
her face? Leslie Mann.
Yes. Oh no. What's her name? That plays Cersei and Game of Thrones is in it.
I don't know her name. But I said the guy
Lena Headey.
from White Lotus that kind of looks like...
Yes.
Are we talking about the Joy of the Jungle one with Brendan Fraser?
No. That's the Jungle Book.
I
with
don't
Brendan
know.
Fraser.
What movie?
The Jungle Book.
I don't know if I've seen this.
Yeah.
So,
It was a
with the
Disney
real
Jungle
people.
Book PG-rated live-action movie from 1994. Look it up. So he directed that
Yeah.
and Deep Rising, and then the, Universal said, "Hey, go direct The Mummy. Here's a couple $100 million." Apparently, the day after the movie was released, the crowds that came out to go see it, they called him the next morning and said, "Hey, we're making it like this is happening," based on how successful it was. And one of the biggest elements about this
Was
movie,
the sequel The Scorpion King or was it Mummy 2?
The Mummy Returns.
The Mummy Returns. See, I don't remember watching that.
That's
movie.
because the sequels all stink. And this movie is lightning. And listen, I may be a nostalgic. The sequels stink. They're terrible. They're not good. They're not good. But anyway, I would be remiss if I did not mention the
that's
fact.
Bruce Lee, right? No.
Are we okay?
Are you showing me pictures of?
The Jungle Book live action.
Who's that guy? Is that Bruce
That's
Lee?
Mowgli.
Yes, that's
I know
Mowgli.
it's Mowgli.
Yes.
Is it Bruce Lee?
I don't know.
Or
I
like
don't
his
think
son?
so.
Or like his daughter?
I don't think so.
Bruce Lee daughter.
So what I was trying to say was the fact that the Mummy got turned into a theme park attraction, one of the best of all time at Universal Studios in Florida, the Mummy roller coaster that's there.
Yes, that I do. I enjoy that ride very much.
Yes, you and I have been on it together, and it's fucking fantastic.
We went on it like several times.
Several times together.
Yes.
Kat, your thoughts on The Mummy?
I saw the Mummy when I was younger. Not 6, maybe. It's funny. It's okay. I feel like when I watch it, like if you watched it last night, it's like in the background and just kind of like, it's fun. It's a funny movie. I think that the one part that I always think of when I think of The Mummy is that when reading that inscription out of the, like that's the one scene that I always associate The Mummy with.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But Brendan Fraser's very good in it. And I like all the creepy crawly thin guys are cool. And I think it's fun. It's a fun movie.
Analysis that we can only bring you here on the
Yes.
Also,
straight out of cats' mouths and straight out of cats' mouth and ears.
It's a pretty
also the
basic
guy
fun
that
movie.
played Mowgli in that live action.
Yes.
He also played Bruce Lee
Played Bruce
in
okay.
The Dragon in
Oh.
like 19. So,
Oh, okay. I
wasn't
mean,
wrong.
you
He
weren't
looked
wrong.
like I was like, he
you weren't
looks like
wrong.
I think my favorite on-screen portrayal of Bruce Lee is in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he's fighting Brad Pitt.
yeah.
It's pretty
Yes.
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty great.
I have kind of an interesting question.
Yes.
So, because this happens to me, and I want to know if it happens to you guys, is you know how movies have kind of like a color palette?
Yes.
Like it's very, like this movie's very like orange and brown and like
Yeah.
like
Earthy tones.
warm. Yeah. Does that like and that I don't like the tone this movie.
Okay.
It and like do you guys get that? Like are there
No.
like movies you see where like the color tone like kind of like puts you off from it?
Yes, I've seen it before. I don't know if I could name you a movie right now, but I've definitely I know what you're talking about.
Because I remember
Listen,
even being
if
a
this
young
movie
kid
just
being
doesn't
like,
jibe with you, that's fine. Like I
Oh, yeah.
totally get
Yeah.
it. Like this happens all the time. I'm not offended person.
Oh,
I disagree.
I like watching you get excited.
I
think he's.
I'm pulling an Andrew. I'm like, yeah. I'm just making noises over here, and
It's a great movie.
I get that though. That's weird. I mean, it's
But
funny
you know
that
what I mean?
say
Like,
that, but
I was just curious because I was thinking about it. I'm like, I think like there is a part of me like the reason I have a hard time with this because of that. I'm just like it just like makes my mouth dry.
But colors make vibes of like the entire movie.
Yeah.
They set scenes. So yeah, I get it.
Because there's times like even like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is very similar to this
Yeah.
one, and there's like I have to like be in the mood. Like I couldn't like if it's like usually that's my go-to once I watch more. That's my like first hot fucking day. I watch that like
That makes sense. First thing in the that's a one.
wow. If it's like a
get
Saturday,
fucking
yeah.
weird with it. Yeah, nice Saturday, Sunday morning.
Wake everybody
It's hot
up,
as
dude.
fuck. Yeah, I'm ready for some fucking
Chainsaws and screaming. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get blood?
I was just curious
Bye.
because I that kind of stuff like that makes a difference. Like color palettes and cinematography and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
I like to think of my moods as like blue, red, yellow, green, like and I act
accordingly.
So a sign for
Act
reference
as
in
if.
here.
So you have like your hot movies and your warm colors and your like Exorcist is very blue.
Right.
It's very
I think of
Green. I think.
Cool.
See, I think of
Yeah.
green.
Right.
when I
Yeah,
think of
green.
That's like
blue,
that's
yeah.
like season.
I was just curious. It was just kind of a random thought.
I like that though. It's a
Interesting.
nice thought.
Interesting.
I like
So
it, but it makes sense, perfect sense.
that's fine. I mean, I feel like I can certainly know, like, think about what you're talking. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like I think of
SB
like a movie like
colors.
Beetlejuice. I think of the color purple. I think of Jaws. I think of Alien. I think of green. So like and
Black.
Halloween, orange, sorts of things.
Halloween, I get a lot of blue.
Yeah. Navy-ish.
Blue and yeah, I can
Blue.
see blue too, like on the poster and stuff.
Halloween, I get a lot of suck.
Black and white.
Phantasm,
Phantasm.
a rainbow.
I feel like
of colors.
Phantasm is a purple color for me.
That's a rainbow of colors.
Phantasm, I get like a really
Yeah.
same with the show.
nice.
We'll come back with it.
All right,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
What colors speak to you?
want to hear some stuff
I like
about Brendan Fraser, of course.
Yes.
Our favorite Canadian actor of the day. So basically, was cast in this was the second choice, or fourth choice. Role was offered to Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Brad Pitt. All turned it down.
Wow.
Yep.
Imagine if it was Ben Affleck.
It would not be the same. This movie would have died. And also offered to Tom Cruise, who went on to go star in another terrible mummy movie that came out a couple years when Universal.
It would be the Mummy
to,
from Mansfield. Be fucking some stupid fucking.
Scientology
hey bro,
mummies.
I fucking
Yeah.
grew up downtown there.
Yeah.
Fucking,
You're from fucking
you fucking
Chatham,
down,
dude.
dude. I live on fucking 876 Bunker Street. Tell your boys, send them my way. I don't give a fuck.
As long as it wasn't a Mark Wahlberg mummy, I wouldn't have cared very much.
Oh my
Mark
god.
Wahlberg's the
But anyway,
worst.
so Stephen Sommers essentially was Brendan Fraser was dropped in his lap and said basically he fit the Errol Flynn swashbuckling character he had envisioned perfectly. The actor understood that his character, quote, doesn't take himself too seriously, otherwise the audience can't go on that journey with him. Also, I guess Brendan Fraser was trying to do like an Indiana Jones riff
I
on this
also
thing.
want to do a real quick.
Kinda see that.
Yeah.
Your first thought comes to you. When you
Yes.
think of Brendan Fraser, what do you think?
Jawline.
The Mummy. Hair.
Hair. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was like,
very
I knew there's
he
a
had-
reason Mike loves
he had
it
a very
because Mike's like,
defined
I'm gonna
jawline
model
now.
my
Yeah.
hair after Brendan Fraser.
Sometimes it kinda happens.
Mike's been doing the Brendan Fraser for like 5 years now.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
yes.
And you look good, Mike.
The flop.
I'm not
Should I call you Brendan?
I mean, you can if you
Can I
want.
call you a whale?
Very good. Very
boy.
good, Mr. Ventura. Very good.
Oh, very good.
Did you know that Brendan Fraser almost died filming this movie?
No.
The hanging scene, apparently, they almost hung him. For real. Actually
I
happened.
think I heard
Yikes.
that. That's
Yep.
wild.
And by the way, if you guys had to guess, where do you think this movie might have been filmed? Because, hint, it wasn't in Egypt.
I would say Nevada.
Kat?
Come back to
Matt?
I'm gonna Arizona.
Back to you.
that.
They tried to film in Egypt, but due to political strife in Egypt at the time, they could not film there due to worries of them getting
I do
killed.
remember. Well,
Utah?
there was a band.
Where did
to
they actually
fly to
film?
Egypt from.
Morocco, Marrakesh, Morocco.
Oh, so they did travel.
Yep, in the desert.
Dude, and
Apparently,
who is that guy that's in this movie that is definitely in the Seinfeld? The fucking
Which guy?
The librarian guy that's like bad.
oh yeah. I
Rachel
forget
Weisz.
the character's name, but yeah, he's definitely in an episode. But yeah, they filmed actually in Morocco. They built sets out there and apparently reached high temperatures of 130 degrees every day. So the production crew had to like put together a special drink, like a hydration drink for everybody on the crew to drink like every 2 hours, or they would have died.
Like coconut water. Like
Yeah,
some sort
I don't know.
Of, wow.
Wild, crazy shit.
You know what cracked me up was when they keep bumping into like this other crew that's just kind of like the like
on the
greater
ferry?
value,
The
version
dumb
of them.
Americans, yeah.
But it reminded me of like in Shaun of the Dead when they have like kind of their like lousy doppelgangers that they bump into. Like it just like because they kind of did. They had like sort of the same like front line basically. I did. I don't know. Something just made.
That's a perfect reference. Shaun of the Dead.
If you're a 13-year-old boy listening, a couple facts for you. With the exception of a loincloth, a few pieces of jewelry, and pasties, Patricia Velasquez, who played Anaxunamun in the opening scene of the movie, was nude, except for body paint, which took 4 hours to apply. That's a movie fact for you right there.
Jerk off to her later.
I promise, too. Got another one for you. The white nightgown that Evelyn, played by Rachel Weisz, wore when the ship was attacked became transparent when it got wet and had to be digitally painted white during post-production so the film could keep the PG-13 rating so that Rachel Weisz's nipples were kept out of the... How about that? Wow. The magic of filmmaking, huh?
Do you think
How about
Brendan
that?
Fraser had a right whale or a fucking humpback?
My God. What is your obsession
Sperm
with
whale.
this
Sperm
title?
whale. No, Brendan Fraser probably, when Rachel Weisz was wearing that.
What's
he
the biggest
definitely-
whale? The blue whale. That's what he had in there. The blue
Isn't
whale.
there a great whale?
It's a great white.
I'm sure there's a
Very
big
well shot.
whale too.
The greatest of whales that have ever been. It's like the whale. Un whale of whale.
It's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What?
Is there a great whale?
I think there is a great whale.
There are
I'm
probably
sure some of them are pretty good.
Probably the greatest whale.
I mean, if you really think about it, though, there should be a great whale. There's a great white. There's a great guy.
No,
there's a great dude.
A great burger.
There should be a great. There's always a great burger. There should
fucking
be,
great. Dude,
I think it's
man.
kind of subjective.
Well, what is your greatest whale? Let's hear your whale. Oh,
I like orcas. Feel a little
Yeah,
orca.
killer
It's
whales
short.
are
No,
pretty
no,
cool.
no,
I'm trying not to
no,
have beer
no,
come out of my
no.
nose,
You
please.
would like
Thank you.
orcas, you piece of shit. Orcas are the worst whales. They kill everybody. They're assholes.
The great whales are the blue whales because
Yeah,
they're
blue
100
whales.
feet
Blue
long.
whales
They're
are
the
great
largest
whales.
They're the
creatures on
biggest
Earth.
ones.
That's
There we
a great
go.
whale.
See,
there we go.
fucking nailed it. You wrong.
Orca.
You're loving the death whales.
It's the largest animal on planet Earth. I feel like it automatically gets the title.
It's the great.
I would say the right whales because they're right. So
They're not wrong.
they're definitely not wrong. They're right.
Hey, so speaking of good-looking people, we're from female to male here. The Magi in The Mummy, by the way, were originally supposed to be tattooed from head to toe, but director Stephen Sommers said that he thought the actor who played the leader, the Magi, Oded Fair, I believe is how you pronounce his name, too good-looking, covered in tattoos.
Also,
from
wasn't
head
he
to toe.
the narrator?
Nah, guy's too hot.
He also is the narrator.
Yeah,
That's
he was
correct,
phenomenal.
That guy. Yep, awesome.
that guy-
great
Dude.
role. Fantastic.
Fantastic. What a narrator.
Fantastic.
Perfect. I'd blow that dude. Like,
Fantastic.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Would you?
Would I? No. Should I? Maybe.
Hey, hold on. One last thing, by the way. Guys, the scene in the library.
Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Well,
Well, it's you.
the scene in the library where Evie knocks over all the bookshelves apparently was planned for a week, was one shot, and would have taken an additional week to try and plan if they had fucked it up.
Oof.
The whole thing actually happened. Kind of a wild thing. Because I feel like a lot of the practical sets in this, I mean, say what you will about the content of the movie, are pretty
Dude, that's a lot of work.
on point.
That
Yeah.
library scene
Yep.
when they knock everything over, like you have to be right on. And
It's a
she
huge-
fucking,
it is a huge
she
production.
fucking killed it too.
Oh, yeah.
Evie,
She was great.
She was
I mean,
phenomenal.
Rachel Weisz,
Rachel Weisz,
awesome.
Dude, she's playing dead ringers.
I know.
I think that's good.
So, guys, did you have a favorite character in the...
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Rick O'Connell's the obvious. Anybody else have a different answer here?
I'm gonna go with them.
I feel like I have to throw Benny, my boy Benny, out there as an
Benny,
alternative.
oh,
I love fucking
O'Connell.
Benny. Oh, God.
Dude, fucking Benny sucks. Fuck Benny.
I think I'll kill you now. Wait, think of my children. You don't have any children. Someday I might. That was apparently an ad-lib
Dude, the
line.
drunk pilot, phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy was.
Winston?
That guy was.
Winston,
Winston, the fucking best. Awesome
He might have
character.
smelled that, but he
Also-
had good taste. Glenn Levin, 12 year.
No, no. That's the he's talking about the guy that flies the plane, but you're talking about Jonathan, the brother, who I feel like this is the first time we've brought him up on the podcast.
Yeah.
What a wonderful character!
I was
He's
talking
pretty
about
funny.
Winston.
They're having like a huge
Both of them.
shootout,
No,
and
no,
he's
both
running
of
around
you
with a
scream.
fucking bottle of whiskey.
Flies up.
The first time that
Fly us
Evie meets him, he's drunk in a mummy thing, and he like pops out shit-faced and like falls out of the coffin. And he's like, "Hey, I found this expensive key. Tell me I found something." She's like, "Jonathan, I think you found something." It's like, yes, let's fucking go. Let's go do
Irish.
mummy stuff. Let's go do some shit.
Oh yeah, so good.
Love
That
it.
movie's so
That's the
good.
best.
I fucking love
Just
that
the
movie.
fucking best.
That movie gives me a. The movie has a soft place. A soft place.
Soft
May
space.
I-
A soft
may I-
place in my
you know,
players.
Since we've
Soft
talked about
space in my heart.
the
It's a good movie.
nostalgic feelings here and
it's there.
you know,
It's
some of the
available.
acting, can I talk to you about a few different scenes that are all equally awesome?
Phenomenal.
The opening battle scene with O'Connell when he's in the French Foreign Legion when him and Benny are on the
He
same scene.
screams, and then he just runs off.
That's all practical, by the way. That's fucking
Really?
awesome. That's a
What a
great
great
battle
scene.
scene.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
fantastic battle scene.
That was all in Morocco. Thousands or hundreds of people on horseback.
Thousands.
Going.
Wow.
Dude, when the
Hundreds,
mummy
hundreds,
first
not
makes his
thousands.
appearance, so
Very
good.
good. Very good.
I like when they all start
Like
coming
the
out
whole
of the
lead up.
ground.
Yeah.
I mean, the CGI might be a little bit dated, but when
No, the lead up to
No.
that is very good.
Oh no, I was transitioning to a different scene, but I agree. Yeah, that aged well. When Rick, Winston, the leader of the Magi, and Jonathan are all on the plane, and they get attacked by the sandstorm with his face on it, and they're all just like he's just shooting at it like yeah, just blowing it away, shooting sand with bullets. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. The scene when he runs up on Evie and she first sees the mummy and he's just like, "Hey, there you are. Like, where have you been? We can get the hell out of here right now." And she's like, "Ah!" Has the shotgun, screams in the mummy's face. The mummy roars back at him and he just shoots him with a shotgun,
Like on
runs
the
away.
dick?
Yep, unbelievable. Great scene.
Literally
Just a
shoots him in the
great
nuts.
The scene on the
fucking
boat
scene.
before
Yeah.
anything happens, like the very beginning of the movie.
yeah,
when they,
that's a
that
great
big
fire.
fucking blowout. Yeah,
Dude,
that
there are
fucking
so
scene.
many
Dude,
great
that movie
action
fucking
scenes
rocks.
in this. Honestly, it's
it's a
unbelievable.
great action movie. You're 100% correct. Not a horror movie. Action movie with some weird shit that happens.
It's got
So
some
many
body
quotable
horror in it,
lines,
for sure.
dude.
Dude,
Just
that movie
so many
fucking rock.
quotable
Dude,
lines.
that's a once-a-year movie because I'll just put that on. I'll be like, you know
Me
what?
too.
I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm gonna watch them while I.
Yeah.
It's a perfect movie.
But I'm glad somebody brought up
fall asleep, too.
the eye and tongue removal scene from Mr. Burns.
Oh,
Yeah, that fucked me up when I was 13. I was like, whoa, that's a little.
Oh, when he's
kinda creepy.
yeah, there's no blood.
Yeah, no
what a
no
great
blood.
scene. What a great
Apparently, that was a mandate to keep it from an R rating, was
Yeah.
to basically like make it as bloodless as
you
possible,
could
but
rip-
still look as creepy as possible. Which
See,
they
I feel like
did.
that
He
actually
just
makes
looked like
it.
he had pink eyes.
I feel like that makes it more creepy. The fact that he was able to remove his eyes and tongues,
Yeah.
and there's no
Clean.
blood,
Yeah.
clean to the bone. Like
weird.
the
It
guy's
does.
just
It does
sitting
kind of
there-
make
to the
sense.
The
tongue
guy's
bone,
just
right?
sitting there. He's a monster. Like it's actually a phenomenal way of doing that scene.
Yeah, that was creepy with the guy with no eyes.
Yeah, that guy looked like he
Yeah.
looked like he was in a bad way.
Oh yeah,
He had a bad
definitely in
week.
a bad way. Imagine also. So here's some logic at length. Okay, so Mr. Burns, the guy who got his eyes and his tongue ripped out, the man that led him and his American friends into Hymenoptera was Benny. Benny shows up after he's had his eyeballs and his tongue ripped out and says, "Here's Prince Imhotep. Nice to meet you." And the guy's like trying to drink tea and he spills it and he like looks up and says, "Dude, do you think something's up? Maybe you scream a little bit? Like, come the fuck on."
That's a great scene. Actually.
Like, unbelievable.
Fucking nailed it.
Prince Imhotep thanks you for your eyes and your tongue, but I'm afraid more is required at this time. And he's like, no. And he it's fucking absolutely
no
wild.
eyeballs. Just saying
Yeah,
that.
and his like
Wild
scarabs
scene.
like crawling all over his
Yeah,
face.
dude. The
Yeah,
scarabs
little
are
bugs
fucking.
are fucked
The
up.
scarabs creep me out.
I could
so
nerd
bad.
out all over this movie for
Because that's the guy that's like, oh,
5 days.
Who is that guy? I feel like he was in a Seinfeld.
Oh, God. Probably. There's
probably
probably
was.
a lot of people in here. I mean, I feel like a lot of the other actors
I feel like half
besides...
the people in this movie were in Seinfeld. at
Besides
some point.
Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, and actually John Hannah's been in a good amount of stuff. Who plays John? I feel like everybody else in this movie is kind of like they're all characters, doing
Yeah.
like career-defining
Yeah.
roles. Like, okay, oh, I know that guy. He's in The Mummy.
Yeah.
I know that girl. She's in The Mummy. I know them. They're in The Mummy. Fuck yeah. Like, absolutely.
Everyone's in the mummy because
The Mummy's
they're
like
in the
the
mummy.
fucking the male librarian though is in everything. He is in fucking everything. I'm telling you right now.
I don't
that
care
guy's
how
in
long it
everything.
takes. I don't care what you have to do. Clean up this mushiva!
Yeah, that guy
Screams
is
at her.
in fucking
Also,
everything.
by the by,
Mike
The
has
scene.
the
Okay.
hardest
All
boner
right.
right
Hey,
now.
listen. I told you at the top of the episode I've been waiting to talk about this movie for 2+ years. Okay, so give
it
me
out.
my
Get it
fucking
all
stage. All right. So when Evie's on the ladder, okay, you can clearly see this one shot where the ladder is in between the two things. It's a man with a wig on. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Really?
Freeze frame on that shit? 1,000%.
I want to see that.
Guaranteed.
So
I
Evie is a man with a wig on?
guarantee. No. In that, it's the stunt man in that one particular shot trying to hold the ladder vertical in between those two things before all the shit got knocked over.
And you can clearly tell.
It's like you
I
have
wanna
to
see.
freeze frame it for like
Okay.
a
We'll
split
have to
second.
do that right after.
You can see it. I guarantee it. I fucking
guarantee,
baby.
Fucking George Foreman grill over here. I
I
guarantee.
guarantee.
Fucking
I'm gonna
guarantee.
name all 18 of my children George, and I guarantee that you
George
can see the stunt double in that
George,
particular
it's just
scene.
George Foreman man. It's like George Foreman man. Like, yeah, you're definitely a man, and your name is George
Oh
Foreman.
God!
So-
So I guess I mean, shit. Have I hit this point home yet? That this movie fucking rules? I mean, I'm sorry for Matt. I really am. But it's okay. You know what? Hey, sometimes like I had never considered a negative perspective before in my entire life because I thought everybody in the world loved this movie. So it's been interesting to hear. I have to say. Yeah, knocks through the moon, huh?
What a scandalous dress.
All right, so what else about this goddamn movie? Like, can we roll
Dude,
the
she
fuck
was
on here, please?
Very scandalous.
We talked about the guy, the stunt
What we got
double,
for
the
our
library, what
99
else?
I think we're there.
Oh yeah, let's go. Let's run through that. That's about all I
Oh,
had.
99 list. Yeah,
I mean,
we're
before we
just
come
randoming
to
on.
that,
I'm like, you just sit there, like,
Like,
what
why
are
would you
doing?
give me a
Like,
fucking...
Jesus Christ.
I'm done talking about fucking
Like-
babes. I can only talk about
All right,
babes
all right.
for like 3
Stop.
minutes.
All right,
and, like, too many babes.
I know. I fucked with you a second. Just stop. All right. All right. So for 99 movies, I got there's some good and some bad news, and there's some
99
actually
movies, but a bitch ain't one.
there's actually there's actually some really good ones, and some of these are definitely like, how did this movie get? We'll see. First one, how did this movie get made in the 90s? The Astronaut's Wife with Johnny Depp and Charlize Theron. Anybody ever seen
weird
this movie?
I've never even heard
No,
of it.
Ever?
First off, that's not a horror movie, so let's not.
So
name
apparently
that
it's a movie about Johnny Depp coming back from space. He's married to Charlize Theron, and he becomes an alien. He gets her pregnant. So, interesting.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Matt, as you mentioned, Audition came out in 99, buddy.
this movie.
So, yeah, I mean, immediate contender for movie of the also, I feel like back-to-back. In terms of alphabetical order, The Blair Witch Project. I mean, I know some, I think of...
Sorry.
I mean, no doubt an influential movie, especially horror genre. Andrew, Candyman Day of the Dead, which was the third film of the franchise,
No
which
one
went
has any
direct
interest-
to
yeah,
video.
no one has any
Ever
interest
seen
in
it? No, Matt? No.
It's not a good movie.
Definitely not. Okay. End of Days, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, also came out.
You know what I watched today? There's a TikTok video, and it's Uncle Rico talking
From Napoleon.
Napoleon Dynamite, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger like face over. I fucking died.
Yeah,
I think you
sounds
should
pretty
watch
funny.
that.
Also in the bad, we had From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money. I love From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
First one.
Never
First
seen
one,
the sequel.
yeah. First one's
Great,
awesome.
fantastic movie. Catherine, we got The Haunting, 1999.
Oh, I love that movie.
With Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Owen
Yeah,
Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
And that girl
Liam
from-
Neeson.
Yes, Liam
Yep,
Nielsen.
Liam Nielsen, as you say.
Liam Nielsen.
That's correct.
Tell you
Let's
about
see.
John Boyd.
But you telling me these tricks are... So if I
Tell me,
purchase these tricks...
If I purchase this breakfast
there'll be no
cereal,
trouble?
there'll be no trouble. So good.
It's at
Very
the end
good.
of... What,
Very
Ted?
good. Ted 2.
Ted 2.
Ted 2,
At the end, he's
yes.
at like he's checking out of the line with like Ted's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, and Liam Nielsen just like comes in and he has tricks and he's
Still-
I watched
so,
this.
like, so good.
I watched
so
this
good.
video the other day where it's Liam Neeson, Warwick Davis, and then fuck, I can't. One of the other ones is like a really famous comedian, and then some other like British dude. And they're trying to do improvisational comedy, and Liam Neeson keep way too serious. And dude, I have to find the link for it. I'll send it to the chat.
I want to
It's
see
wicked
it.
fucking
I wanna
funny.
see it.
And Willow.
I love him.
That's so good.
Well, he's the one that like comes up with the scenario, and it's just like the glances that they like give each other as he's like going
Yeah.
on with this bit. I was like fucking dying laughing.
That sounds good.
Oh, God. Liam Nielsen,
Liam
right?
Nielsen.
Guys, also in 1999, we got House on Haunted Hill, the remake
I like this.
of the Vincent Price.
I like this a lot better than The Haunting.
This is the one with Jeffrey Rush. This is a very good movie. I think Taye Diggs is in it.
Probably. Sounds right.
Famke Janssen's in it. Andrew.
Yes. What's the chick
Famke
from
Janssen.
Final Destination? She's in it.
Yep.
Is that her name? Ali Larder?
Ali Larder.
Yeah.
Famke
Yes.
Who the fuck is
Janssen.
Ellie?
She was also in Varsity Blues. She was the
Oh,
whipped
okay,
cream
yeah, I know
bikini.
who you're talking about.
Yes,
Oh,
Andrew,
the
yeah.
whipped cream bikini girl.
Yes,
Oh,
never heard of that before.
I know who she
Speaking
is.
of horny 90s movies, also in 99 we got Idle Hands with Devin
banger.
Sawa
Seth Green?
and Jessica Alba.
And
Banger.
Seth
Speaking of
Green.
Final
Like,
Wrote
Destination
the show,
alumni.
the movie.
Yes.
That movie's awesome.
I love that movie.
Idle Hands is a good movie. Very good movie. Also in 99,
That's a
speaking of
very
movies that
fucking
people on this
Evil Dead
podcast
thing, yeah.
like, we also got a movie with a line that says, "You have such big, wonderful boobs," and that is Lake Placid.
Lake
Yes.
Placid. I
Oh, I
remember.
love that movie.
Yes.
I remember
Not to be
watching.
confused with Lake Placid with the fucking soft cock.
God.
I remember watching Lake Placid as a little kid when it eats the girl, the blonde girl, and
Yeah.
like her legs hanging out, and it's like twitching, and just being like,
Yes.
Whoa,
Like
like,
the lecture,
yeah.
like, Nick.
I was
Yeah.
like, damn, dude.
Yeah, this is. I feel like this has to be Kat's favorite movie of this.
Oh,
year.
yeah.
I feel like by far.
I love Lake
Placid.
Placid. Yeah. I like The Haunting a lot, too.
We also got a couple more here. Of the Stinky, the Rage, Carrie 2. Bye. And then also these following three, pretty good to varying degrees. Sleepy Hollow, Tim Burton one, Stigmata, and also A Stir of Echoes. It's a
Creepy.
Kevin Bacon movie, right? You guys seen those?
That's
Any
a
of
creepy
those?
one. Stigmata, I don't think I've seen
I think
legitimately. I remember
Patricia
seeing like
Arquette's
pieces
in
of
that.
it.
I used to rewatch
I
that
love
movie.
90s Patricia Arquette. Don't get me wrong, she was a babe.
True Romance.
Come
I love that
on,
movie.
dude.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
Little Nicky's a little sweet.
Little Nicky, little sweetheart, son. Yeah, so that's the year in horror, 1999. But hey, just for shits and giggles,
Sharks and gargles.
we talked about sharks and
Gargles.
gargles.
I love that.
It's most of my
Great.
That was
incredible.
entirely impulsive.
That's great. Sharks
Sharks
and
and
gargles.
gargles.
You
I
couldn't
like
have-
that better.
You couldn't have stopped me
Those
from
were
saying
sharks
that
and
if you
gargles.
fucking.
Dude, you
Sharks and
absolutely
gargles.
just.
You just made something.
You hit
just
that
made
out of the
something
park.
I think
happen.
that's a thing. No.
Guys, you want to hear some other 1999 movies besides horror? Because I'll run through them. Not even rapid fire here. Fight Club, The Matrix,
Yeah.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are all ranked according to IMDb, by the way. American Beauty, movie I didn't care.
That won the best picture.
I know. The Green Mile,
I love The Green Mile.
The Sixth Sense,
Great movie.
American Pie,
Meh.
Yes.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace,
Absolutely.
Trash.
10 Things I Hate About You,
Trash.
Galaxy Quest, Office Space,
Banger.
Yes.
Big Daddy,
Sad.
Love Dad Big.
Love Big.
Daddy Big.
Magnolia,
Banger.
Romance,
I don't know.
Girl Interrupted,
Love that movie.
Cruel
that's good.
Intentions,
Yep.
Love that movie
The
too.
Virgin Suicides,
That's not
Trash.
bad. Not bad.
Notting Hill,
I've seen Nutting Hill.
Poop.
Hollow.
Banger.
I've seen Nutting Hill. What does that even mean? I've
But I'm a
seen Nutting
cheerleader.
Hill.
Being John Malkovich.
Banger.
She's all that. South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Banger.
The Boondock Saints.
Banger.
Lots of
The
bangers
Talented
this year.
Mr. Ripley.
Underrated.
Never Been Kissed. Dogma. Blast from the
Jeez.
Past.
So many
Tarzan.
Wow.
Toy Story 2. Entrapment. The Blair Witch Project.
Ah.
Audition. The Iron Giant. Jawbreaker. Deep Blue Sea. The Ninth Gate. Life.
Jesus Christ.
And The Bone Collector.
The
All in the top
Entrapment is so good.
Also, The World Is Not Enough. Existence. Which is a Cronenberg movie, if I'm not mistaken. See what else here?
The world's
We're
not
falling
the
off a
fucking
little bit
bottom
here.
of it.
October Sky, Austin
Oh,
Powers.
October Sky?
That's
I
so
fucking
good.
love that
I
movie.
love that movie.
Cider House
Powers
Rules.
Rules.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fucking great.
Great
movie.
movie.
Stuart Little.
Oh,
Fuck
October
Stuart
Sky. I
Little.
don't like that movie.
House on Haunted Hill, Double Jeopardy, 8mm. Could be.
Double Jeopardy is a great.
Deuce
movie.
Bigelow.
Fucking
Varsity
Bigelow,
Blues,
You're just
Tommy
gonna.
Lee Jones.
You're just
is
gonna
fucking
scroll
sexy
over that
as-
one?
Where
What's
is
her
it? Yep,
face?
Deuce
Did,
Bigelow,
did-
male
That's a huge
gigolo.
Did Simon Birch also come out here?
I'm not sure. It's not.
I don't like Simon
Yet.
Birch.
Thomas Crown Affair, Wild Wild West with Will Smith,
And fucking
Lake Placid, Man on the Moon.
All right.
I think we're done.
What are we
else?
talking about here?
Summer of Sam, Payback, Any Given Sunday.
Son of Sam, Son of Sam.
What we were trying to say, what we were trying to convey, was that
a lot of good
how
movies
good
that
of
came
a year in film 19 was.
And the Mummy was in
Well,
the
that
top,
because
the top
that's
10,
when
huh?
movies were movies.
Top
Yes.
5 on that list.
Movies
yeah.
were a big deal.
That used to be when movies were movies.
Yeah. So, guys, I mean, obviously, I feel like we've waxed nostalgically about The Mummy for quite a while. Is there anything else you want to say about this film before I should say, retract, this Academy Award-winning Oscar for Best Picture film, The Mummy, directed by Stephen Sommers. Anything else about this we have not covered in depth?
I don't know if it's about
that
this
you'd like
film.
to say about
I just have to
this
say,
film?
I think Mike loves his mummy.
Wow.
Big Steven Sommers guy.
Thank you for that. I am a big Stephen Sommers guy from way back. I mean, This and Deep Rising.
Mike likes his
Got
mummy.
love.
I will give him credit for writing and directing.
Since we
Yeah.
started this
Solid,
podcast,
so.
you
he
said
had an idea.
tiny
did.
little
Sure did.
penis. Mike has a tiny little penis. Then you were like, Mike has a receding hairline. I'm like, Mike loves his mummy. I'm like, what is the deal with hating
What are we
Mike?
saying?
You have actually hurled like
Like,
the most
Like-
upsetting insults at me that you possibly could. Receding hairline, small penis.
You think he
And I
called
love
him the
my
whale
mummy.
at
Now
one
just
point?
call me fat after that, and then I might as well just go
I
kill
think
myself.
I think he called you the whale at one point.
Well, Mike, if
Like,
you're
why
gonna
are
have,
you being
Mike,
so
you gotta have
mean?
one. You gotta play the game.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's throwing fastballs at a catcher with no mitt.
My goodness.
You gotta catch on, buddy.
That's okay. Hey, you know what? That's
Love
fine.
you, buddy. Sorry for insulting you, buddy.
Damn, burn.
Okay,
Woo.
buddy.
Ouch.
Oh, God.
I didn't
All
realize I
right.
was doing that.
Yeah.
Thanks for making me feel like a piece of shit.
Should.
Guys, anyone
Tiny
else?
little penis.
Anyone else?
That's my hat.
That's all I got.
I have
Yeah.
a tiny
all I
penis.
got.
Kat, Andrew, any final thoughts you want to offer on The Mummy before you insult me further and we sign off?
I like it. I'll watch it again. I don't think I have a choice because we watch it often in this house.
It's actually true.
This is a
You-
weekly
You really
rewatch.
don't have a choice.
I watch it often in bits and pieces every now and then. For the most part.
I mean, there are worse things, but yes, this is a movie that will be watched in our household.
I'm
Not
just
only for
curious,
you,
Mike. I've
for our
searched
daughter as
Yeah.
well.
You own
vigorously.
this movie?
I've searched
Yes, you did.
vigorously.
You bet your ball bag I own this fucking movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you this movie
Absolutely.
on 4K
Oh, fuck yeah,
okay.
dude.
for your birthday.
I've searched vigorously for Brendan Fraser fight scene. His cock is out, and I think you know where they are because you have all of those files on.
I
your
gotta
phone.
tell you, I've never come across one yet, but I feel like
Dude,
he's-
Brendan Fraser's
Probably got
boss.
close to it in Georgia. The
George of the Jungle, I mean, he's in a loincloth the whole
Yeah.
time. Actually,
There's no Rachel Weisz there.
Leslie Mann. I
what you
mean,
did
she was cute. That was
Gentlemen, lady,
scary.
anything
girl,
else
too.
on The Mama before we sign off for this good evening? Yeah, The Mamas.
it
As
The Mama?
Layla would say, "The mamas."
I
Good
love this movie.
evening.
I mean,
You know anything?
I feel like if you're listening
we
to this
already said
episode,
things.
you've seen like the the logo on your podcast feed. Just go fucking watch The Mummy and back and have fun with it. But anyway, I think it's been another episode of America's Hometown Horror. Thank you so much for coming back and checking in with us. This was a fun.
I know. I hope you got it all out.
I really did. I
Good.
did. Is everybody feeling good?
Yeah.
Me too.
Love my kid.
Yeah.
We get an Andrew pick.
We got an Andrew pick next week. We still have to figure out what that may be.
I already know what the pick is.
Okay. Well, anyway,
Bye, guys.
next week, whenever Andrew does make his pick, when we record an
always can.
episode, you can find it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, and wherever else you may get your podcasts, plus wherever you're right now. My name's Mike. I've been joined by Andrew, Kat, Matt, lady, gentlemen. Au revoir and good
Sox.
evening.
Adios, amigos.
Smell you later.
Thanks, Whale.
Peace. Fuck you, you little weasel.
Dude, Weasel's a fucking good one, man.
He's such a
I love
little
Whale in the
Weasel.
wheel.
Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and just wanted to say thank you again for listening to another episode of our show, because of course, we would be nothing without you listeners. If you are interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I would highly recommend you check out some shows by our cohorts on the Inebriart Podcast Network. That's right, the Inebriart Podcast Network, folks. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find the Inebriart Podcast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, Retro Redoctopus, and Old Colony Cast. Head on over and give them a listen.